Lions, I'm going to ask for a volunteer to do the opening prayer, a very short opening prayer.
Let us bow our heads. Our Father God, who art in heaven, this morning we first want to say thank you. Father, we thank you for all that you has been. You has been good to us. I pray, dear God, that as we go into this training this morning, God, that you will open up our minds, dear God, and that God, whatever we do, Father, this morning will not only be pleasing to the members of the Lions clubs, but also to you, God, and to the community. Father, bless us as one. Father, I ask you would bind us together. And whatever I ask in no other name but your name. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you, Landana. Welcome again, everyone. This is the first session of our incoming cabinet officers training. And we should have the entire cabinet in attendance. However, we have had a couple of apologies for absence. The district governor-elect had a family commitment, so he'll be joining us shortly. As did the cabinet secretary treasurer. He will not be available for today, but he will make every effort to be with us at our next session on the 13th. Lion Synovia has had a death in her family. In fact, her father passed, and she's in the midst of the whole funeral preparation. We want to keep her in our prayers as we move forward. She will, however, be committed to the next session. I see we have a special guest in our midst, and we want to extend a special welcome to Lion Vice District Governor, second Vice District Governor-elect, Lion Carlisle Goddard. Welcome, Lion Carlisle. It's nice to have you.
Looks like he's still connecting to audio.
Oh, I see. Okay. This session today is going to be split up in two parts. The first segment will be presented by Lion Sherwin Greenwich, and the second will be presented by Lion Malcolm Kerwan. I had shared the information with you, but just so that you have an idea of how it's going to be. We will have the first 5 sessions, segments on the framework presented by Lion Sherwin. And then from section 6 to section 10 will be presented by Lion Malcolm. There will be a short break, short lunch break, well, let's call it refreshment break, between the two presentations. And then we move straight into the second presentation, and we hope to close no later than 3 p.m. this afternoon. So we don't spend too much time on the other stuff. Let's move right into introducing you to our first presenter, Lion Sherwin D. Greenwich, past council chair and progressive Melvin Jones fellow. Lion Sherwin hails from the parish of St. Philip in the country of Barbados. He is a customer service consultant and trainer, a member of the Lions Club of Barbados East since March 1991. He has served in many positions within the organization. In recognition of his service to the association, he has received numerous awards, including Lion of the Year, President of the Year, Zone Chairman of the Year, Lions Club's International Membership Builder Award, and the International President's Certificate of Appreciation. Past Council Chair Sherwin is driven by the mantra, People won't remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel. So Lions, I turn you over to Lion Sherwin for the first segment of our training.
Sherman is muted.
Thank you, Elaine Diane. Yes. So good morning, all. Thank you, GLT Coordinator Elaine Judy, and a special welcome to the selected region and zone chairpersons for the year 2021-2022. And of course, a special welcome to my friend and incoming second vice district chair-elect, Dr. Carlisle. So I'm happy that he can grace us with his presence today. I recognize that there are some persons who may still be connecting to audio, so I hope that they can connect in time so that they can be part of the presentation. Today, we are going to look at training for zone and region chairpersons. And the session objectives are going to be identifying the requirements for your journey, describe the zone and region chairperson's roles, review the zone and region chairperson responsibilities, planning for your term, and reviewing the skills required for success. We expect you to be successful, so we thought that we should share some skills that you will be required to be successful during your year. So we'll start with a little icebreaker, so I get a feel for who we have. I know most of you, but I believe that some of you may not know some of you. So there's an idea for me to at least start. I'm going to probably divide the session in half. So I'm going to ask you to indicate your name, the name of your club, the length of time you're as a Lion, and how did you become a Lion? Were you invited? Or did you just decide this is something that I want to get into and you asked to be invited, as some people do? And what was your most memorable Lion experience? And why was it memorable? So I'm not going to call anyone. I'm going to allow you to choose and go first. Just unmute and indicate your name, the name of your club, the length of time as a Lion. How did you become a Lion? What inspired you to become a Lion? And your most memorable Lion's experience? Who's going first?
I am Wendy LeBarry. I'm a member of the St. George's Lions Club in Grenada. I've been a Lion now for Leo and Lion years, 21 years. And one of our close friends when I was a child was a Lions Club member, and living in the vicinity of our Lions Den, it was almost the next step to make in the community for me to join the Leo Club at the time. Hence, I chose to become a Lion, having served as a Leo for 10 years. My most memorable experience as a Lion, I would have to say maybe that one time when we went to assist a family of 8, a single mother with 7 children, who most of the children were like 1 to 1.5 years difference in age. And the mom, of course, having been pregnant that many times, the likeliness of her keeping a job was so slim. So that time we decided to go give the den, we call it in Grenada shack, or maybe you just would say a home. The time we decided to give that home a facelift of the 1 bedroom that she had shared, well, was sharing at the time with her 7 children. When we decided to give it that facelift, the tears, the woman sobbed so long that her oldest child, which was 6 at the time, had to be the one, maybe about 8 the child was, had to be the one to give the thank you because the mother was sobbing nonstop. So I think that would have been the most memorable experience I had when we gave her house a facelift. We gave her those new beds. We made an addition to the house. They ended up going from 1 bedroom to 3 bedrooms to make the family a little more comfortable. So I would think that is the most memorable experience I've had, having served as a Lions Club member.
Thank you, Lanny, for sharing and to reminding us of the reason why we joined this noble organization. Who's going next?
I can go next. Good morning, fellow Lions. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so my name is Lampita K. Cham. I'm from the Lions Club of St. Andrews Central. The length of time I've been a Lion, if you include my Leo years, is about 25 years. How did I become a Lion? My motherland, Nurse Chang, has been a Lion for a very long time. So as a youngster, I used to go to the projects, go to the meetings, and that is what I wanted to do because I loved helping persons. So became a Leo, and just naturally, natural progression was that I become a Lion. My most memorable Lion experience, in a way, I have 2, in that one has to do with service. The feeding program that we used to have at a basic school was one of the most rewarding for me because, you know, some of these kids don't get breakfast in the morning because they have to travel so far and, you know, they're financially challenged. And just being able to give them breakfast in the morning and seeing the appreciation in their faces, because sometimes they don't even have a lunch. So just seeing that is heartwarming. And then the other memorable experience actually was when I attended Lions Centennial, and that was in Chicago, being able to meet all these Lions across the world, as well as, you know, going to the international headquarters, seeing the rich history of Lionism throughout. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Dr. Peter Gray. And don't age me, I remember your Leo days, so I remember you there along with your mom.
Yeah.
So I recognize that we're going to have a lot of Leo Lions today, so which is good, So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yes. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Yeah, Lion Junior here from Dominica.
Yeah, never Leo Lion, go ahead.
Length of time as a Lion is very long. To be honest, I really gather. I know it's about over 20 years, between 20 and 25 years I've been Leo into Lion. How did I become a Lion? Well, I became a Lion as a Leo, from Leo. I joined the Leo movement at the time, honestly, because of the Ramani Party. Young boy. They had a nice little line going on every so often, and a couple of my friends were involved, and I used to line around them, and I figured, why not join? I joined for the Ramani Party, but I stayed for the service and the experience. And I must say it has been an enjoyable experience. Most of my memorable experiences with Lionism is especially after one of our 2 recent hurricanes, how we assisted. I remember particularly Tropical Storm Erica when Pititzavan area was devastated. And we were some of the first set of people on the ground assisting and helping people and to see the situation people were in and to realize that we could lend a helping hand to help alleviate their situation. And then to see the support that we got from the rest of the regional Lions, where we were able to, they contributed to our efforts here to assist those people. That was a very memorable experience for me. And yeah, so it's been a fun experience for me.
Thank you, Lion Junior, for sharing. Who's next, Alphonse?
Good afternoon, fellow Lions. My name is Lion Alphonse Gomes from the St. Martin Lions Club. I've been a Lion since 2012, so about 9 years now. How I became a Lion, back in 2002, the Lions honor my mom for her community service. So that was my first experience with the Lions. Although it took me a few years longer than I expected to join the club, I did it in 2012. My most memorable Lions experience, I have a couple. One of them I could say is back in 2014 with my first international convention in Toronto. I think it really opened my eyes to see what Lionism is globally and how the organization is so much organized. That was a good experience for me. And also one that really happened within this year during my presidency is that as part of our 50th anniversary, we partnered with one of the vision centers on the island where we gave students, about 50 students, the opportunity to get free eye testing. And one of these students that got tested also needed glasses. And we partnered with the VOSH organization. They sent some glasses down to us for these kids. And when we delivered these kids to this youngster, the enjoyment on his face, that when he tried them on and his vision was so much better, he just shouted out, "Wow, I could see now." I think that was a real good feeling for us as Lions, for see the impact and how that feeling that young man had when he got those new glasses.
Thank you, Alphonse. Who's next?
Good morning. My name is Lion Avaloy Forbes. I am from the Downtown Kingston Lions Club. I've served since 2007. I can't calculate that now. How did I become a Lion? Well, through Leo, but I was at my job, and another Leo, I think she was coming in as Leo president. She was helping me to fix my resume, because even though you're at a job, you're trying to still find something that's a little better. And she saw that I was in Key Club and a lot of other service organizations during my time, and she said, "Hey, would you like to join the Leo Club?" So that was 2006, because for them at that time you have to do a year before you join the Leos, and that's when I became a Leo in 2007 officially. My most memorable Lions experience usually involve working with young people, and I remember as a Leo project, I think I was vice president at the time, we adopted a family. Mother had cerebral palsy, father had the sclerosis, and they had a beautiful boy. And I think when we met the family, we fell in love with the entire family. They couldn't afford nutrition for themselves or for the baby, so we decided to adopt them. And I think that's one of my most memorable Lions experience. And then seeing them transform and even see Matthew grow up is something to say, boy, I helped to make an impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Lion Avaloy. We just take two more and then we'll take the rest after. So who's going next?
I'll go next.
It's like Carol.
All right, I'm Lion Carl Bunkamper. I am from the Sable Lions Club. Officially, I have been with the Sable Lions Club since 2009, so going on my 12th year here. How did I become a Lion? I was a Leo, started off in the Leo Club on St. Martin as one of its charter members back in 1983, and remained a Leo for a few years until I moved on for my studies abroad. Many years later, returned to Sable back in 92, and kind of unofficially supported the Lions Club at that time for many years, until somebody asked me, "Why aren't you a member?" And I'm like, well, nobody asked me. And so finally I was asked in 2009 and inducted, and yep, the rest is history. Here I am as a Lion. And one of my most memorable experience would date back, I think, in my years as one of my first years as a Leo, where we also kind of adopted a family of 10 on its way to become 11, a mother, father, and 8 kids at a time, and her being pregnant. where we redid their home as well, inside and outside. That was a big project that always would stay with me. But since being part also particularly of the Lions, I think I don't have one specific moment. I would say any moment. So I would consider them a bundle. Any moment when we have done a service where it generates a smile from the recipient, for me, that is a very, very rewarding experience. So, and there's many of those.
Thank you, Lane Carroll. And one more before we break.
I'll go next. I'm Len Ann Fenner from the Mandeville Club, Mandeville, Manchester, Jamaica. I've been a Lion for over 13 years. And I became a Lion when another Lion came to my office to sell me tickets for our flagship fundraiser, Menu Cook. I went to Menu Cook, I think for 2 years in a row, and observed what I saw. And I said, well, yes, I'd like to be a part of this movement. There have been many since being a Lion, a lot, and too many to recall. But for me, I think what I would consider the most memorable was that when I was president, we launched our outreach program, where we went into the community to find persons who were in need and ensure that we took care of them in providing them with a meal, toiletries, etc. And the year of my presidency, we topped it off with a Christmas party. And at that party, we invited ordinary folks, ordinary Jamaicans who probably would never have a gift or a Christmas dinner, and treated them to Christmas dinner, and they each went home with a gift. That for me was my most memorable, it's perhaps one of the most memorable things I've done as a Lion.
Thank you, Lena. Anne, my zone chair. So happy to see that you've taken on another role. Very good. So those who have not taken the opportunities yet, your opportunity will come later. So thank you for sharing, and I recognize that in this group, we have lots of Leo Lions, which is good. And listening to, you probably would have asked, why did I ask you for the most memorable experience? Because often we need to remind ourselves as to the reason why we joined this organization and the difference that we make and what we do when we serve. So thank you for sharing. So let's start, and we're going to look at preparing for the journey. In the words of Lao Tzu, the Chinese philosopher, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And today, I believe this is the single step on your journey to becoming a successful zone or region chair. So it's very important that we go through the step, and the journey begins. So what is required as you begin this journey towards being a successful zone or region chairperson? So my thought is that within your first 30 days, you should meet with your predecessor. So as incoming zone chair or incoming region chair, you need to set up a meeting with the outgoing zone or region chair, so that they can share with you any challenges they would have encountered during their year, where you can continue to work on and improve, or if there's some areas where there are strengths that you can continue to build on them. So it's very important that within your first 30 days, within July, or even if it can be done before, that you meet with your predecessor so as to have an handover as such, so you know what are the areas that still require assistance and those areas that you can build on and improve on. So it's very important that you do that. You should also communicate with the members of the District Governors Advisory Committee. So as zone chairs, you need to meet with the members of the District Governors Advisory Committee, who would be those presidents, secretaries, treasurers, membership chairpersons, and service chairpersons, depending on who the district governor suggests should be the advisory committee for the year. But it would be normally the president, the secretary, the treasurer, and now the membership and service chairpersons. So you should schedule that meeting within your first 30 days so that you can have a better understanding of what the clubs in your zone are planning, and then share with them the plans that you would have as relates to achieving the district governor's goals with them as well. And for the region chairpersons, you would also want to schedule the dates and locations of your zone. As for the zone and region chairpersons, schedule the dates and locations of your zone and region meetings. So you should want to do that early so that you can plan your calendar so that there will be no clashes, especially with zones which might have eight clubs or so. You want to be able to ensure that your meetings don't clash with major club activities. So you should encourage those presidents to plan a calendar. You will see a little later, I will mention that, so that during the year, clubs can share and support one another because there will be any clashes. And then importantly, you need to familiarize yourself with the district organization if you haven't already done that during your years as a Lion. But it's critical now as a zone and region chairperson that you really understand the district organization and how it works. And here's a view of the district organization. On the district cabinet, you would have your immediate past district governor, your cabinet secretary treasurer, and you will see cabinet secretary and cabinet treasurer. There are some districts have separated the role, but in our district, we have a cabinet secretary treasurer. You will have a region chairpersons. In the district, we maintain region chairpersons. You will see it's optional because there are some districts who would not have region chairpersons, but we have continued to have region chairpersons in District 60B. You have your second vice district governor, your first vice district governor, and then you have your zone chairpersons who would normally be considered to be reporting to your region chairpersons. And you'll have your global action team, which will be headed by the district governor. And the global action team is made up of your global leadership team coordinator, the global membership team coordinator, and the global service team coordinator. Those three coordinators make up the global action team headed by your district governor. You will also have your LCAF coordinators pass as part of the cabinet, and the district governor usually name an advisory committee. And then there are other district operational committees. You have the information IT committee. The district governor will have an honorary committee. You also have a marketing communications committee. You'll recognize from next year, those of you who've been paying attention, that will now become a marketing committee. And the district governor will name a convention committee, a nomination committee, credentials, resolutions, elections, constitutional bylaws, rules of procedure, and a committee for the international convention. Those are the main committees. Then you will have those service committees that's coming: national support, which will be diabetes, environment, hunger relief, childhood cancer, and vision, and any other committees that the district governor so desire during his term as district governor. So that will be the makeup of the district cabinet. Bear in mind that the voting officers would be the district governor, who would have to cast in vote if required. You also have the second vice district governor, the first vice district governor, the region chairs, and the zone chairs. Those are the persons who are the voting officers on the cabinet. Remember, you can stop and ask many questions along the way. And I mentioned earlier the global action team, and this is still considered to be new. So some persons may not have been totally familiar with it. So we share the slide, and so you see where you sit in the global action team arena. You would have ambassadors at the high level who will be past international presidents, International Board of Directors, past International Board of Directors, and past district governors could be named as ambassadors by the international president. And then we move into the constitutional areas. We are Constitution Area 1, so you will have Constitution Area and Regional Area Leadership. And then you move into the area leadership, I believe, past Council Chair Liam Malcolm would have served in this capacity, if not still serving. And then we move into the multiple district global action team, where you have the multiple district global leadership, global membership, and global service coordinators making up the multiple district action team headed by the council chairperson. And then the next layer will be the district global action team headed by the district governor I just mentioned, which will comprise of the GLT, GMT, and GST for the district, along with the region and zone chairpersons. So you form part of that global action team as support to the global leadership, the global membership, and the global service. You will be supporting these three coordinators. And then you go into the club level, where the global action team will be headed by the president, and the club should have the leadership coordinator, who would normally be the first vice president, and you have your membership chairperson and your service chairpersons. These are the persons who you will work with to ensure that they function in the ways that they're supposed to function. So that is an idea of how the international global structures work and how you are seated within that structure at the district level. So now we're going to move on to the roles of the zone and region chairpersons. The zone chairperson is a link between the clubs and the district. Remember, zone chairs, the zone chairperson is the link between the club and the district, and that is a very important link. While the region chairperson is a link between the zones and the district. The region chairperson is a link between the zones and the district. So as I said earlier, the zone and region chairpersons are also members of the district global action team. So you play a role there in support of the coordinators. So what are the responsibilities of the zone and the region chairpersons? Do you know any of the zone and region chairperson responsibilities? I believe having been accepted the role, you may have started to acquaint yourself as to what your responsibilities would be. So in 2 minutes, I'm going to ask you to write down the roles, the zone chairs, write down what you believe your responsibilities are, and the region chairpersons, write down what you believe your responsibilities are. Don't cheat, because as I review the responsibilities later, we will see how many you got right. So in 2 minutes, just write down zone chairs, what you believe your responsibilities would be as a zone chair, and region chair, you also write down what you believe your responsibilities would be in 2 minutes. So I believe that you should have written down what you believe your responsibilities would be. And as we go through later, you will tell me whether or not or how many you were able to record successfully. So we look at the responsibilities of the region chairperson. So as stated in the Standard Form District Constitutional Bylaws, Section 10D, the region chairperson is subject to the supervision and direction of the district governor and shall be the chief administrative officer in his or her region. As I indicated earlier, the region chairperson is a member of the District Global Action Team and also a member of the District 60B Forward Implementation Team. The region chair also further the purposes of our association, supervises the activities of the zone chairpersons in his or hers region, and such committees that the chairperson may be assigned by the district governor, and to work with the zone chairperson to promote the club quality initiative to the clubs within the region. You also play a very active role in organizing new clubs, strengthening the weak clubs, and reactivating status quo clubs. So region chairs pay attention to this particular role because I think of all the roles, this is what I consider to be probably the most important role as a region chair. Play an active role in organizing new clubs. The district governor may have been tasked to organize new clubs, so they may ask you in your regions to identify possible new clubs, but importantly, strengthening weak clubs and reactivating those status quo clubs. Hopefully there will be any, but that would be your area to throughout the year to be monitoring the clubs. And I know later there will be an exercise on that from the Malcolm. Make official club visits on the district governor's behalf if requested. So if the district governor cannot make an official visit on their own within the region, they may ask you to deputize for them. You're also required to give timely reports to the governor on situations within the region. So the district governor would advise you how often he would want you to report, but you're expected to give reports as to what's happening in your region. Assist the GLT district coordinator to organize and conduct seminars for district and club officers. So that is very important that you identify those officers who might still need to attend some training and work with the GLT district coordinator to do that as well. So what are the responsibilities of the zone chairperson? According to the Standard Form District Constitutional Bylaw, Section 10E, this time, the zone chair is subject to the supervision and direction of the district governor and or region chairperson, and is the chief administrative officer in his or her zone. Again, the district chairperson is a member of the District Global Action Team and the District 60B Forward Implementation Team. They are expected to further the purpose of the organization, and as zone chair, you will serve as chairman of the district governor's advisory committee in your zone. And as such, expected to call regular meetings of the said committee and promote the club quality initiative to the clubs within your zone. You're expected to include the GMT district coordinator, the district as special guests to your advisory committee meetings. So as a zone chairperson, and we now be on Zoom, so it makes it a lot easier. You should invite your district leadership, membership, and service coordinators to your advisory meetings so that they can share what's happening at the district level as it relates to leadership, membership, and service. So you can do that as well. If you happen to have them physically located in your area, then you should invite them. It's suggested that you invite them to your advisory meetings. And you're expected to report to the district governor as directed. The district governor would indicate to the zone chairs how often he would want to receive reports from the zone chairs. As zone chairperson, you're also expected to coordinate with the GMT coordinator to organize new clubs where appropriate. So if you believe that there are opportunities for new clubs, you will work with the GMT to organize new clubs in your zone. Also play an active role with the GLT coordinator supporting leadership initiatives. So there would be leadership initiatives coming up from time to time from the GLT team, and as zone chair, you're supposed to encourage the clubs in your zones to participate in these leadership initiatives, as well as working with your GST coordinator to promote the global service initiatives. So you would have received by now the district governor's goals and areas of major focus for the year as it relates to service initiatives. So you're supposed to work with your district service coordinator to ensure that these are met. You're supposed to supervise the progress of the district and the multiple district and Alliance Club international projects within the zone. So if you have district projects or multiple district projects or international projects in the zone, you are supposed to supervise the progress of those projects. There are some clubs or zones who may apply for projects, or the district or the sub or the multiple district may apply for and have projects happening within your zone. As a zone chairperson, you're supposed to supervise the progress of those projects on behalf of the district, the multiple district, or Lions Club International. As zone chair, you're supposed to ensure that each club within your zone operate under the duly adopted club constitution and bylaws. I mean, by now, each club should have standard club constitution and bylaws, which should be aligned with the international club constitution and bylaws. But as zone chairs, if they haven't, you have to ensure that those are done and that they operate under those rulings. And promote representation at international and district and sub-district level conventions by at least a full quota of delegates to which clubs are entitled. So for district conventions and multiple district conventions and international conventions, you should be encouraging the clubs in your zone to name the delegates as to what they are entitled, and then encourage those delegates to attend these meetings so they can actively participate on behalf of the clubs as what's happening at the sub and multiple district conventions and international. So that's also very important. I think often clubs don't pay enough attention to ensuring that they have delegates and the delegates represent the clubs and put forward the clubs initiatives when there are opportunities to do that at the district, multiple district, or international level. As zone chair, you're supposed to visit a regular meeting of each club in the zone at least once during your term. So at least once during your term, you should pay a visit. In our region, we call it an official visit. The zone chair will pay an official visit to the club, where they would indicate to the club that they're visiting on a particular day, and they would visit the club and perform such other functions and acts as may be required of him or her by the directives of the National Board of Directors. So from time to time, the International Board of Directors may ask its own chairs to act on their behalf, and it's expected that you would do that as well. So anybody want to share with me how many, and go to zone chairs first, any zone chairs want to share with me how many of those responsibilities you were able to correctly name?
Sherwin, I was able to get 3 just because that's all I managed to write down in the 2 minutes.
Okay, what were the 3 that you got?
Coordinate club activities, mentor clubs for improvement, and encourage and guide, and then of course ensure that clubs are doing okay with their membership and to build new clubs.
Very good. Anybody, any other zone chairs want to share how many they got?
Sure, and I managed to get 3 of them as well.
Mhm.
And my 3 was inviting the GLT, GST, and GMT to the meeting with your president, secretaries, and treasurer, and I have having a calendar of events to the Leicester year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any region chairs want to chair? Any other region chairs want to chair theirs?
Sure, I'll share mine. For the region chair, I started with the one that you had mentioned, which was part of the district global action team. That you are to serve as a link between the zones clubs and the district governor to promote the purpose of the organization. I also had oversee the activities of the zone chairs, make visits if called upon on behalf of the DG. And then I had report to the DG on issues in the club zone region.
Very good. Okay, good. So I believe some of you, when you were assigned, would have gone into the international, I hope, and start to look and see what are my responsibilities, and I've accepted this position as zone chair, region chair, because you really need to understand your roles and responsibilities. Yes. So now we'll move on to the year. I'm planning for the year. This very important year that is coming up from July 1st. How are you going to plan as a zone chair and a region chair for this year? The district governor will be continuing his focus on District 60B forward. We have started some work on that and we are making progress. There's still some clubs who still need some work. So as zone chair and region chair, you would expect that you familiarize yourself with the District 60B forward. If you haven't already, you should understand what is District 60B forward and what roles would be expected of the zone chair and your region chair. It's also expected that you will set goals for your term. Not too many goals. Remember that the district governor already would have a number of goals that they would share with you. But within your region and your zone, you may want, depending on the area that you are in and areas that you may believe that need some priority, you might want to set goals around those areas. So as a zone chair and a region chair, you can set some goals as to what you would want to achieve during your year as zone chair and region chair. And I alluded to it earlier, prepare your activity calendar. So you know what activities as a region chair or zone chair you would want to have, when your meetings will be. And then in planning with your club presidents, then you would ask them to share their calendars with you so that you can have a calendar for the zone and the region. I always suggest to zone chairs and region chairs that each zone should have a calendar of events so that that is shared. It is in the planning for presidents so that there are no clashes and allows clubs to support one another in their ventures, whether it be a service activity or a fundraising activity. So prepare your activity calendar. So I'm going to spend a little time on understanding the District 60B forward because that may be new to some of you. So the District 60B forward calls for a call to action, which will be to set and implement goals to solve the underlying problems that hinders club health and growth. So that should have been done by most clubs already. It is a 5-year strategic plan that's supposed to run from 2018 and started during my term as district governor and should end around 2023. That's the expectation. And the goal is to achieve long-term district and club sustainability and excellence. The whole purpose of the District 60B forward is to ensure that our clubs are sustainable, that we don't end up losing any clubs, and we achieve the long-term district and club sustainability. There's an oversight committee which comprises of the district governor, the immediate past district governor, the vice district governor, past district governor, past council chair, which were named, the finance team, and the IT and communications team. Those are part of the oversight committee, and those are already in place. And I believe the district governor will share that committee with you. I believe that Malcolm also would probably touch on that during his presentation. And then there's the implementation team consisting of the vice district governor, the region chairs, and the zone chair. So you are part of the implementation team, as I said earlier. And then you also have the immediate past region chair and zone chair that are part of that implementation team. So as zone chair and region chair, it's expected that you will probably serve 2 terms as part of this district 60 B-Forward team when you serve as during your term as region chair and zone chair, and also when your immediate past region and zone, you are still part of that implementation team to ensure continuity. And then you have the GAT team and the LCF coordinator as part of that district 60 B-Forward. And your responsibilities as regional and zone chair to facilitate the district commitment to implement the district 60 B-Forward at the club and the district level. So your role is to ensure that clubs work towards implementing district 60 B-Forward successfully, and engage and empower clubs to develop and execute the club forward plan for their continued development. There are some clubs who are far along the way and some who still need assistance. So part of your handover, your zone chair and region chair should be sharing with you those clubs that still need to do some work on their plans as well. Maintain communication with the clubs and other designated stakeholders with respect to the objectives, the plans, the progress, the accomplishment, and the lessons learned and undertaken in District 60 B-Forward. So I mentioned earlier about setting goals, and now we'll be hearing this, but just a reminder so you know and you can focus on your goal setting. Remember, your goals are supposed to be specific so that you are sure, and persons who you're sharing it with are sure that the objectives are clear. It should be measurable. Benchmarks and progress must be measurable. There's no use setting goals if you don't know whether or not you're achieving them or not. And the best way to determine if you're achieving them is by measuring them. Also, make sure they're actionable. Set goals that are achievable. You don't want to set goals that persons, when you share it with them, oh, I don't think we can achieve that, so I'm not even going to try. Ensure that your goals are achievable so persons believe that they have an opportunity to achieve the goals. They should be realistic. Don't set goals that you know that are unrealistic. They should be realistic. Could be challenging, but not unrealistic. You may want to push the team a little harder by setting challenging goals, but make sure that even though they're challenging, they may be realistic. And of course, they should be time bound. So you should know when you expect to achieve your goal, be it by the end of the month, midway during the term, or by the end of the term. So they should have some timestamp on them, which would aid in the measure, allowing to measure them as well. Then as Whitley said, the reason most people never reach their goal is that they don't define them or ever seriously consider them as believable or achievable. So if you're going to set goals, you must clearly define them and you must believe in them. When you're setting them, you must show the passion that you believe that these things, once persons work together, can be achievable. So winners can tell you where they're going, what they plan to do along the way, and who will be sharing their adventure with them. So if you're going to be setting goals and you're going to be ensure that you're going to be considered to be a winner, then you must be able to tell the persons in your zones and region where you want them to go, how you plan to assist them along the way, and who will be sharing their adventure with them. So preparing your activity calendar, it should consist of your district governor advisory committee meetings, your region, zone and region meetings, and that calendar should also have your cabinet conference and convention meetings, your international convention, your club visits, and your district governor visits. So as zone chair, those are the elements that you should have in your calendar And you also then additionally add any activities within major service activities that your clubs will be undertaking. But ensure in your activity calendar that you have the date set out for your district governor advisory committee meetings, your zone and region meetings, the cabinet conference convention meetings, international convention, when you'll be doing your club visits and the district governor's visits. Once they share that information with you, you put that in your calendar. So then we're going to go into breakout rooms. And Wendy, I know you're drilling. And I'm going to ask you as you go into your breakout rooms, they're going to have 4 groups. And I'm going to ask you, group 1 is going to look at identifying and discuss how you can assist the district government to achieve and or exceed the following goals for 2021-2022. So your district governor would have shared some of these goals with you. I've tweaked some of the timelines a bit for the exercise. So one of the goals would be to have all clubs reporting and all Leo advisors assigned in my line by December 31st, 2021. Have 50 lines in your region pledge 100 US annually to LCAF and 2 MGF or PMGFs acquired per region by April 30th. And achieve a positive membership growth in your zone, or have a minimum of 25% of the lines in your zone attend LCI multiple district or district training by May 31st, 2022. So when you go into your groups, you're going to have one of these to look at for 10 minutes. I'm going to ask that you identify a person to report on behalf of the group when we come back together. So group 1, if you happen to be a group 1, I will wait, let me wait until you go into the groups and I'll come into groups and share with you. But you're going to have these as your areas. So once we go into the group, I will come into the group and share which topic I want to look at for the 10 minutes. Then Wendy?
Line Sherwin? Line Judy?
And Sherwin, I think Lion Sherwin is visiting each group.
Is Lion Junior and Lion Ann having problems joining their group?
I know Lion Ann has 2 devices.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
But I'm not sure about Lion Junior Toussaint. I'm not sure what is happening there. Let me write to him and see what is happening.
He's joined.
He has joined now?
Yes, he's joined. Yeah.
Great, great. Mhm. I don't know if you'll be touching the difference between the district advisory meeting and the zone meetings. Will you be touching it, Lion Malcolm?
Well, the thing is, you know, that is a 60B invention. That is not
Right.
a.
Yes, I know, I know.
There may be some discussion about it, but that's an invention of 60B. That is not an LCI. There's no
Right.
such distinction in.
Right. So
you know.
what has happened this year, because it was shared with the group, there was a lot of confusion because everybody had a different interpretation and it created all manner of mix-up.
Well, I'll be focusing on the zone meeting as the DG's advisory thing. And
Okay.
anything else to me that you want to do, as long as you do the required district governors advisory committee meeting, that is what you need. Anything else you do is discretionary.
Okay.
That's to me.
Fine. So you will be bringing that to your discussion.
Well, yeah, I'll bring it. Now that you mention it, I'll bring it up.
Thank you.
And if you don't hear me mention it when I get to the meetings, remind me.
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Right on.
Okay, good. Bye-bye. Okay. Hi, Rupert, what's up? Did you call me just, yeah. No, man, I remember I told you I have training all day today. Yes. No, man, start from 10 o'clock. Yes. You wanted to come today? Oh, no. All right. All right. All right. Okay then. Okay. So I'll touch base with you. Today? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, good.
So, welcome back. And I hope you had some invigorating discussion as to how you would begin to work from July 1st. As you recognize, this exercise is about giving you a head start in your work towards achieving the goal of a district governor from July 1st. So let's start quickly. Group 1, you want to share? So you're going to share your ideas and make sure you discuss it in your group, and then the others who didn't get a chance to do that will probably hear for some kickstart ideas of how they will work within their zones and region to achieve those objectives as well. So group 1.
This is Flying Carl for group 1. The zone chairs and myself, as region chair, we discussed how we would be able to enhance the outcomes of that first goal, which is based on the reporting. And what we did take note of is that this is a goal that has seen quite some improvement during this present year. So the approach of inventorizing and personally getting in contact with the responsible club challenges, we would continue that. And to do that, we also know that our average is a bit lower than what we would like it to be based on the lagging of the reporting at the level of the LEO clubs. And this has a lot to do, in our opinion, with several of our LEO advisors not necessarily understanding their role or being motivated sufficiently to take on that reporting obligation, to take it back to the sponsoring Lions Club so that the reporting can make it into the LC My Lion portal. This is an area. We also recognize that some of our Lions that are working with the My Lion portal are not necessarily comfortable with that, and that maybe some technical assistance in person might be the way to help stimulate them and get them more comfortable in doing this. So besides the inventorizing and contacting and establishing what type of support they would need to improve on the reporting, or actually to even get starting with the reporting, is a way that we see that as region or zone chairs, we might be able to support those in our respective zones region. One of the things right off the bat that we believe should happen is, again, enhance the trainings and continue with them for the role of the LEO advisors. In the small group that we had, several of them felt that many of their advisors are there in name, but haven't really engaged fully with their respective LEO clubs, and in return then don't or are not able to report properly to the sponsoring Lions Club. Yeah, and one of the other areas was that somebody said, is it at all possible? Is it an option? And I guess we can look into that. I know right now it's not, for LEOs to be able to report directly via the portal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So quickly, zone chairs, so you know, coming out of that discussion, that one of the areas you would want to look at for your first 30 days to identify those clubs who are reporting and those ones who are not reporting, to work with them to see if there are any challenges around reporting on My Lane, so you can get those resolved quickly. And then especially those clubs with LEO clubs, to work with them within the first 30 days to ensure that they are reporting. And we have the LEO Commission chair here, and you can, so you have a direct contact with Lane Avaloy. She would be able to tell you whether the clubs in your zone are have the LEO advisors reported on My Lane, and if they haven't, then you can then speak with those presidents and secretaries to get them done. So that is one area, step one, that you have to be added now to your 30 days. Group 2.
I am sure, may I just also just inject. I do know, for example, that just yesterday or the day before, we got an email from the district governor cabinet team that we will be meeting on the 27th of June, where I think there is already a potential of a type of a handover. And I would suggest that we take this point of getting that update on, you know, strengths and weaknesses in that area and include this as such a point. Thank you.
Yes, very good. Thanks. So, group 2.
Hi, good afternoon. Reporting on behalf of Group 2. Group 2 members were Lion Elroy, Lion Elaine, and myself. Our goal that we have to look at was how to achieve positive membership growth by June 30th, 2022. We look at a combination of items in where we say we look at publicity, activity, training, and collaboration. What we meant with that is that when we look at publicity, we know Lions is one of the best kept secrets. We know in some territories still, Rotary clubs, Kimanis are still known more to the community than Lions. So this is something that we want to change, and where we are saying that we will be looking at utilizing our social media more, where you will be promoting the clubs, also the projects and so forth within the different within the different zones. But also we want to also look at it from a district level. We don't think it would be good to look at it just as an individual club initiative. So where we'll be looking at having the IT Commission and the district set certain goals that we could use when we go and promote our clubs on social media. One of the items we look at, although it is increasing the membership growth, however, we still want to make sure that the growth is increased with quality members, not just quantity. So you want to make sure that you have quality members, that you as a club could sustain these members and keep them. Also, one of the other points we look at is when we have activities, setting up within your activities, having an information booth about Lionism, about your clubs, that when you have the individuals that comes out to these activities or projects, that you could also put some interest there to them on what Lionism is, and that could be a way also that you will be able to attract new members.
Good. Okay.
What we also find, what we are training. Yeah, just one more thing. We think that training is important. So we think that within the zone, within the clubs, that you should have someone trained in being able to also look at, once you get this information, that they could help these new prospects and new Lions understand what Lionism is about, and not just looking at the sponsors. So that's briefly what we discuss in our group.
Wonderful. So zone chairs and region chairs, you heard those discussions and some of the suggestions as how we can grow the membership. I want to welcome District Governor Lion Claudio. So how we can grow the membership. So as you looked at, so you will need the input from your leadership team, working with your IT team as well, and your PR team, as to putting together a plan as to how to sell Lionism so that we can attract more quality members to our organization. So as a zone chair and region chair, you know, you will work with your clubs and using the resources available to you through the marketing team, the GM team, the IT, to get messages that would encourage and target those members as well. Very good. Group 3. Group 3. Lioninis, you're on mute. You're reporting on Group 3.
Okay, good afternoon, Lion.
Yes.
I am Lion Lee Smith from the St. Thomas East End Lions Club. And my task, I can't recall who was with me in my group, but
you had Lion Anna Fenner from Jamaica.
Okay. 50 Lions in Region Pledge 100.
Sorry, I was unable to hear anything. I sent a message in the chat that I wasn't hearing and nobody responded.
Oh, you were hearing, because we were hearing, you were hearing better now?
Well, I'm hearing you. I had to log in back, but I mean, when the breakaway started, I sent a text saying that I wasn't hearing and nobody responded.
Okay, sorry about that. We didn't recognize. Okay, yes, continue, Lioninis.
Sorry. So what I came up with is 50 Lions in the region pledge 100 US annually to LCIF, and 2 MJF, PMJF acquired per region by April 30th of 2022. And for me, what I said is I would from the 5 clubs that we have here, including the Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands, Virgin Gorda, Tortola, St. Thomas East, East End, Charlotte Amalie, I would have at least 10 members from each club. If they can't come up with $100, at least do an installment of $10 per month. And starting from July to April, each of those members should come up with at least $100 for the year.
Good.
And I know I have an idea of one person to become a Melvin Jones Fellow, so I'm sure we can do the 2 by April of 2022.
Thank you, Lynn. I know your group was deficient, but at least you did a start, because remember I said earlier, the focus is to get you to think as how you're going to work along with your district governor to achieve his goals. So zone chairs and region chairs, you have an opportunity to see how you can mobilize now your clubs and the members. And as you get to know your clubs, you will know the persons who you believe can make those contributions, because all might not be able to, but then you target those in your clubs and ask them to make the contribution. And then you encourage those clubs who may be in a financial position to recognize those persons who have been working and contributing and providing good service by naming at least 1 or 2 persons as Melvin Jones Fellow. So as zone chairs, you will want to do that so that at the end of the year, the district governor will be able to realize his goal. And group 4.
Good afternoon. Group 4, I believe that was how do we achieve 25% of Lions and Leos being trained by May 2022. That sounds funny. Okay. The first thing we wanted to highlight was that we needed to understand the numbers in our zone in terms of membership. We could, when we were meeting with our predecessors, we could check what they started out with and what they ended with to create a projected percentage of growth, so that when we calculate a projection, at least we take into consideration the possible increase. And then after that, we want to find ways to ignite the passion of why they came into the club, similar to what you did at the beginning of this session when you asked us, why we became Lions. So like a passion session, and then 3, promote the GLT in-house training sessions. We thought those were useful this year, and we can continue on with that projection. And to suggest 4 online platforms that they could try: Lions Learning Center, Lions University, the Leadership Institute, or to attend a certified guiding line program. All of those, we admit, are logged by LCI at some point, so we would be able to pull that data easily and quickly. And the 5 persons who are not tech savvy, to train them on how to use the system, perhaps Zoom, how to send an email, or how to report on my LCI. And of course, those attendees automatically would have been on a training. And then finally, to get them to do some of these things is to include reward programs, like, a $25 US gift voucher. The Leos love that. So we know that they will come to those trainings, but we could also find incentives for the Lions as well, or their clubs.
Thank you. And I was hoping that you would have gotten there, because often we say, okay, the training is there. We know the benefits of the training, but then we want to encourage persons. So you may want to encourage your presidents to probably, as zone chair, you may want to have a zone award to encourage to see which club can achieve having X amount of their members attend training. So you encourage the president to encourage their members to train and have that as an incentive. I don't know if the district governor can afford to give vouchers to persons who participate, but the zone chairs can then set goals for their presidents and their clubs as to a percentage of persons they want and monitor along the way, so that at the end of the year, the persons will be encouraged to participate in training. So thank you all for that exercise. I thought the district governor came at the right time. I thought that as part of this training, I would give you all a kickstart to share your ideas as to how you can achieve the goals of the district governor. Yes. All right, so now let's continue. I know time is getting to us. Oops. Yes. So now we're going to look quickly at the skills required for success and understanding those roles. So as a zone chair and a region chair, you require some skills to assist you along the way during the year. So what are those roles that you are expected to play as a zone chair and region chair, along with just the role of being zone and region chair? These other roles are expected. You're going to be expected to be a leader, a communicator, a counselor, a motivator, a mentor, and a mediator. These are additional roles that will be assigned to you. If you like them or not, they will be given to you, and you will probably have to play and function those roles throughout your year at some point in time. So as a leader, leading is about getting others to follow and do something that needs to be done, empowering members of a group to create and realize a collective objective, and obtain significant, often extraordinary results from people. That is what we refer to as leading. So as a leader, you will be expected to demonstrate some coaching skills, developing others to succeed in their roles, for future roles. You'll be expected to be a facilitator, to be a listener, to be a delegator. You would expect that there are going to be activities that you would want to, as part of the building process and facilitation, delegate to persons within your zone to give them opportunity to take on the roles in the organization. So as a leader, you may be required to coach, to facilitate, to listen. I know it said listen, not talk, but listen and observe more so that you can offer assistance. You'll be required as a leader to be a decision maker. Sometimes you may need to be decisive and make those hard choices. The clubs may refer to you as zone chair to make choices on their behalf, and sometimes you have to make those tough choices. You're expected to be a team player, and you also expect to be a visionary when you take on that leadership hat as zone chair or region chair. Remember, people don't follow leaders. They follow what they see in leaders. So it's not about persons following you blindly. They will look to see how you perform in your role. And some of them would have had appreciation and have observed you as a lion. And now they will not follow you blindly, but if they see that you have something to offer, they will follow you as leaders according to Kingsley Grant. You'll be expected to be a communicator. And communicating is about the ability to give or interchange thoughts, feelings, and information. To be able to simplify and be direct, to be able to listen and encourage input, to illustrate true stories, and to affirm with actions. That is what communicating is about. And as a communicator, you'll be expected to inform, provide information to others, to get them to understand. So the information will be shared to you by the district governor, and you as zone chair expect them to inform the persons in your zone or your region. You'll be expected to establish relationships. You might have presidents within your zone, or you may have zone chairpersons within your region who you don't have a relationship with, but for this year, you will need to establish those relationships so that you can work with them and establish communications between those individuals to make sure that you realize the goals. And you'll be required as a communicator to inspire others through your words and your actions to work towards achieving the desired results. And you'll be asked to be a counselor. Counselor is about giving advice, assisting others with any challenges, offering empathy in order to build relationships, and engendering a sense of confidentiality. As a counselor, that is what be expected of you. So you'll be asked to provide guidance, sometimes helping presidents to discover and realize their potential. You must be willing, as a counselor, to listen, to hear all sides of the story before you make a decision, and you'll be required at times to display empathy, taking time to listen and understand sometimes the president's perspectives or the members' perspectives, and understanding their frustration so you can offer ways as to how they can move forward. You may be asked to be a motivator sometimes. You're going to probably put on that hat at some point in time. And motivating is about inducing high levels of moral commitment towards the organization, its goals and objectives, about helping the presidents to achieve their personal goals. They too are set goals for the year, and to encourage self-development that results with personal satisfaction. So as a counselor, you'll be expected to create a safe and trusting environment to get your team members, your presidents to work together, inspire confidence. So everybody loves to be around confident people. So people look up to confident people. So if you inspire confidence, it means that your presidents should be able to rally around you and work with you. Inspire success. You will funnel your energy and vision into a clear action plan. When you realize your goals and you share your goals and the goals of the district governor to your presidents, and you inspire success. You say, yes, these things are achievable. They can be done. I'm going to work with you towards achieving them. And sometimes you may be asked to be a mentor. Mentoring is about the ability to direct less experienced or less knowledgeable persons, to provide guidance, motivation, emotional support, and role modeling, and to share one's knowledge, skills, and experience to assist others in progress. You'll be asked to be zone chairs and region chairs, so persons expect that you will have a certain amount of knowledge, you've been in this business before, to provide guidance. So you'll be asked to guide, influence the process, promoting best practices in the zones, within the clubs. You'll be asked to support, not intervening in the decision-making process, but allowing leaders to make their own decisions. So part of sharing your skills and knowledge and making suggestions, you're not going to make the decisions for them, but you're going to provide avenues where they can come and make their own decisions. And as a mentor, you must be available. When presidents they have challenges and they reach out to you, you must make yourself available so that you can respond to them. And as a mediator, you will be asked sometimes to be a mediator. Mediating is about resolving disputes so as to bring about an agreement or a reconciliation, to negotiate in relationship to resolve differences, and to guide conflicting parties towards their own resolution. So as a mediator, you'll be expected to be a facilitator, to inspire trust. So trust that the members believe that you're going to be neutral, you're not going to take sides, you're going to listen, and you're going to give an honest opinion. And then it's about resolving conflict, building teams that work together and help to set the tone for the organization. So you want to remove any conflict as quickly as they come up. You want to sit with the persons and resolve them as well. So before we move into, you tell me if you achieve these objectives. I know there are some persons who will not have shared with us and during the icebreaker. So as those persons know, you know who you are, to share your name, the name of your club, how long you've been a Lion, what inspired you to be a Lion, and your most memorable occasion. So let's go quickly. I know the names, so if you don't go, I'm going to call your names. Lion Diane?
I was just going to volunteer Lion Sherwin, but trying to find my mic. Elaine.
Okay, Elaine, yes.
Okay, let me see. I thought I put my questions on a sheet of paper. Okay, where did I put my things? I can't find my notes now.
So is your name, your club, how long you've been a Lion, what inspired you, how you joined the organization, and what is your most memorable?
Okay, all right. Okay, my name is Elaine Robinson, and I'm a member of the Lions Club of New Kingston. And I joined that club about 6 months after they actually moved from a Lioness Club to a Lions Club. So I've been a member of the club for a little over 28 years now. In terms of me taking up membership and Lionism, I had reached a point with my children. And I said, I think that they're old enough now that I can get involved and do something that I think would be of value to the community. And so I said, I felt that I was ready to go out and do other things. And so I actually approached a friend. And I asked her, about if she knows any association or she's involved in any, and she told me she was a Lion, right? And that is really what got me in. So I went to the club that she was a part of, actually. And I just joined. I've been with the club ever since. In terms of most memorable event, there are many memorable ones, but I think the one what sticks out with me most was that back in the early 2000s, I think it was, the Lions, the New Kingston Club got the opportunity to partner with LensCrafters in putting on a site project. They were we prepared to come to Jamaica and do a site screening project with us and bring your eyeglasses and we can give and so on. And it was brought to the club. President had put it out there and she couldn't find a volunteer to take the project on. So I volunteered. I said, okay, if nobody seems interested. And it was been a most rewarding experience for me. I learned a lot from it in terms of coordinating bringing in the glasses and getting the people through the border, et cetera, et cetera. But the other thing that happened in that project too is that I got pretty much all of the clubs in the Kingston and even outside of Kingston, who are not far away, to be a part of the project. So I collaborated with them and we had two or 3 days, at least 2 days of site screening. And it turned out to be the biggest site screening project in Jamaica that we've had. I can't remember the numbers, but it was such a success. We had people coming in droves and who were so appreciative for the opportunity to get the glasses that they've been trying to get for such a long time. So that has stuck with me. And I just say, you know what, you can't go forward in fear. You have to be bold and take it on. Yes. And I still have my LensCrafters plaque.
Yes, thank you for sharing, Elaine. Len Elroy, this is one line that I don't know personally, so I'm going to ask you to share. Len Elroy? All right, Len, Diana?
Can I go then, Lion Sherwin?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Maria Burke. I'm from the Lions Club of Kingston.
Maria was unmuted.
Hello.
You'll go after Maria. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm from the Lions Club of Kingston SVG. Actually, I became a chartered member of the Lions Club North on the 27th of April, 1991. When that club started in the northern side of the island, I was selected as one of the persons to become a charter member. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, though, our club went under because what happened is that after our guiding lion took sick and we were basically left on our own for too long. Okay. We struggled, and in 2007, we definitely went under. However, I was so much involved in Lionism and really wanted to be part of that organization. I was asked to join the Lions Club of Kingston, SVG, and I joined that club in 2011. And here I am still there. Yes. Now, one of my most memorable time in the Lions Club, we had a project where we took our shut-ins, persons who were locked away in their homes without anybody to look after them. We took them on bus tours. And it is one of the projects that they really look forward to. Actually, it was once a year, and that was the only time some of them were coming out of their houses to visit areas. We had a picnic. We took them on a tour, island tour, and then we had a picnic with them where we had praise and worship. They sang, they expressed themselves, and so forth. And it's a project that really brought tears to our eyes because these people were locked away. Nobody looked after them. Nobody looked for them. And that was one of my memorable, and still is one of my memorable moments in Lionism.
So thank you for sharing that. Yes, so I'm going to ask you all to speed up. So then, Diane.
Okay, I'll be sure. I am Diana Jordan. I am from the Lions Club of Scotland District in Barbados. How did I become a Lion? I was invited, and to talk about there are many memorable moments to me, but when I visited the 100th convention in Chicago, first I have gone to Chicago for the first time, And what excited me most was seeing the long lines of persons parading. The parade was for me. So I guess that was one of my most memorable. And I want to say one more thing. I was a lion before I was invited to be a lion. In that my community used to always ask Diana to do chores, go here, buy a bottle of gas. And in my opinion, I thought it was just being nice, but it was only after this particular lion saw the work I was doing that he invited me to become a lion. So just want to share that short one with you.
Yeah, so you were serving before you officially became a server.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for sharing. Quickly, Lion Marlene, I haven't seen you for a while. You want to share?
Yes, good afternoon. Marlene Stevenson is the name.
Yes.
I'm from the North St. Catherine Lions Club. I'm a lion now over 7 years. I came into the club, one of my colleagues invited me, and I liked what I saw, and I've been a lion since. Most memorable moment experience for me. We usually have a monthly geriatric and glaucoma clinic for persons in the community, where a doctor comes in, sees them, blood pressures will be done for them, blood sugar checks are done, and they would be given medication. In addition, we give them like a cup of soup or a cup of tea and some crackers, whatever we have. And it's just to see the gratefulness on their faces, preventing them from going to the normal clinics. At least they could come there once a month, be seen, give medication and appointments. So it's been memorable for me.
Thank you for sharing. I think, Lion, good to hear you again. I think you were president when I was district governor, right?
Sure.
Yes. Yes, thank you. And Lion Denise, who I have not seen or heard for so long.
Good afternoon again. I am Lion Lenice Smith from the St. Thomas East End Lions Club. I have been a member for 32 years. I became a member through Lion Lillian Molina, classmate from high school who introduced me to Lionism. It was nothing new because the things that we do in Lionism is the work that I do. I'm a retired social worker, did 30 years of that. And most memorable is every time that we have traveled to St. Martin, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Kitts, wherever we travel, the St. Thomas East End Lions Club always have prepared a care package to include sheets, towels, toiletries, and it always brought joy to the residents of the homes, whether it was the children's home or the seniors' home, but we presented these packages, and I miss doing all of that. It's just something that we enjoy doing when we travel to the islands. We always took something to the children's home or to the seniors' home in the islands that we traveled to. Thank you.
So, thank you for sharing. And Lions, I know it's been lengthy, but I thought that it'd been an excellent opportunity since you'll be working as a team, as an important component of the cabinet, that you get to hear a little more about each other, so that as you begin to communicate, at least you will know the persons that you're communicating with. So thank you all for sharing. I hope this session will be able to identify the requirements for your journey, describe the roles of the zone and region chairs, and especially their responsibilities, looked at how you can plan for your term, and looked at some skills and additional roles that you require as you operate in roles outside of the district governor and outside of the region chair. Are there any questions? Yes. So in the words of Mark Victor Hansen, don't wait until everything is just right. It will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and less than perfect conditions. So what? Get started now. If each step you take, you will grow stronger and stronger, more and more skilled, more and more self-confident, and more successful. So this is the beginning of your journey. And I know that as you take every step along the path, you will have a successful year as zone and region chairpersons. Any questions?
Just one line, Sherwin. Am I right in assuming that we're going to get a copy of your presentation?
Yes, you will get a copy. We will share a copy with you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And there's my contact information if you need to contact me by WhatsApp or my email address. Okay. So I want to thank you for your attentions, and there being no more questions. Any more questions? I want to pass you back over to the GLT coordinator.
Just one remark from Lion Sherwin, this line.
Yes.
Particularly for because you mentioned the presentation would be shared, but would we be able to get a, how do I say, a summary of the breakout rooms on what each of the groups brought out?
I didn't take a note of it.
Or maybe the recordings.
Yes,
we'll get access to the recordings.
Yeah, maybe the recordings can be made available. Yeah.
I'll ask the IT chair if that can be done. Yes.
Chair, I could type out our group's response and send it.
Lion Sherwin?
Yes.
Malcolm Cohen here. I don't think there's a recording of what happens in the breakout rooms.
Yes, I will ask the IT about that. But I think we have had general discussion, at least what the persons who would have taken notes in those sessions, what they can do is to send the information to me, and we would get it together and share it with everybody. So those persons, the notes that you would have taken to report, just clean it up and email me or email Lane Judy, and then we will send it out to all the zone and region chairpersons. Sounds reasonable? A little more work. Yes, so thank you. Over to you, Lane Judy.
Thank you very much, Lion Sherwin. It is not my job to say a proper thank you. That will be done later on. But of course, you know, I could not go on without saying my own personal thank you, not just for today, but for the support you have given to the leadership team throughout this year. We are tasked with it for next year. So there's a saying in Jamaica that says, you got tired to see my face. So I think that is going to be the situation with the GLT.
Yes.
You all will be tired of seeing our faces, but we are all agreed on making sure that the leadership initiatives get out to every Lion and Leo. So there's going to be a break now. A break for half an hour. And during that time, we suggest that you grab a bite and do whatever else you need to do to make yourself comfortable. When we get back, we will ask Lion Claudia to say a few words to the team, and then we will go straight into the presentation by Lion Malcolm. So it's break time.